All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Mentor Asia Pacific. We are here at the Guam Museum, and we've got our two mentors here. They are well known, and we are actually live at GIFF right now. Guam International Film Festival is going on for this month. I don't know when this episode is going to exactly come out, but in case it's happening in October, hopefully you get to come check out the amazing films that are putting out. So they both have the in-shows that are here during the weekends and also the online format. So we're going to jump right into a couple of the questions. I'm going to have them introduce each other, and then we'll go from there. You guys want to introduce each other?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thanks, though, for having us on.
No problem. Yeah.
It's a cool honor, man, so I just want to say thanks. My name's Kel and Don Muna. I'm one of the founders of the Guam International Film Festival.
Hi, my name is Don Muna, also founder of the Guam International Film Festival.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right, so this is the first time I'm doing two in one interview, but since they're brothers, it's going to be cool. So let's just jump in the first question. So what's one thing that most people might not know about this year?
Maybe I could start this one. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. Usually when people meet me, I'm always smiling and laughing, and you know, I like taking it easy.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to my work, I get really serious. So it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. And so I wanted to talk about that because in the sense of mentorship, one of the things I wanted to state or share is you don't have to change who you are if you're going after a goal. It's okay to be who you are, but when you focus in and hone in on your work, you know, that's when the beast can come out, right?
I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, that's one thing people don't know about me is that I'm usually fun-loving and smiling, but when it's business time, it's time to get down.
For me?
Yeah.
I'm extremely ticklish.
I don't know. Now people might try.
I could probably be in the middle of like a conflict and somebody come and tickle me and it's over.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, so we're gonna jump into question number 2. So, what's your guys' story? You guys can share individually, and then you can see where you guys are at now. Anybody want to go first?
How far do you want to go, though, man?
Yeah, whatever you want to share.
I was born in 1977. Let me see our story. Well, I guess I'll just keep it in line with our career path. Kel and I are extremely creative, only because we were forced to at a young age. Why am I nervous right now?
It's the dude, man. This dude. For real. Man.
Our story.
That's where my house closed.
I know, bro. Okay. How did we get here? What is our story?
Well, yeah, I think I'll start and then you can just jump in on that.
Go for it.
Is that when we grew up, we were always the kids that wish we had that thing or that thing or that thing. We grew up poor, basically, you know, single parent household. It was our mom that took care of us. We grew up in Gura, low cost housing, you know, with food stamps and stuff, and what's cool about those days is that when you grow up like that, we never felt poor. We didn't really understand what poor was until you get into the social hierarchy of school, and you know, the kids are being like, "Oh, there's a flood coming." Like, what do you mean there's a flood coming? Look at his pants. They're so high. They're past his ankles. Well, what's wrong with my pants? And so, anyway, it was that, right? And so Don and I never really had a lot growing up, and so it forced us to become imaginative and creative. You know, we'd find ways to keep ourselves busy at home, and we were latchkey kids. So when our mom was still at work and we'd get off school, we'd get home before she would. We'd let ourselves in the house, make our cereal or whatever, and watch TV. And so we were left to our own imagination earlier? And then if you want to take it from there.
Well, it just it kind of progressed into us experimenting with all types of art forms. We did stop motion at an early age. We recorded our first album. We recorded an album off our karaoke. We had like a home karaoke.
It was a cassette to cassette
Yeah.
deck
Oh,
karaoke, and you can overdub on one track though.
It looked like an
Mixtape,
R2D2. Looked like an R2D2, you know? And so we did stuff like that.
Oh wait, let me get on to that. What was cool about that though is it taught us discipline because you were what, 11 or 12 at that age,
I was mad.
or 9,
I know.
and so I was a few years older than that. And so at that early age, right, like tween age, we didn't know it at the time, only because we were doing something really fun. But it taught us discipline because in those archaic, prehistoric machines that we were using, like I said, it was cassette to cassette.
Yeah.
So that was one taker. So that means we're going to lay this track down in one take. We can't cut because if we cut, then there goes the tape and it's already gone through one pass.
Yeah.
But so it taught us that kind of discipline where you practice. I'm going to press record. You ready? Okay, go.
Yeah.
And so we didn't, of course, know it at the time. But in hindsight, as adults looking back on it, it was a lot of those things that just, was dealt to us that we were able to adapt and adjust to, and then later on pull it out of our toolbox when we became older. And we have no qualms about going hungry right now. Like we can go hungry for about 6 days before we get mad. Have the Spam and the Vienna sausage, and we'll be good.
I think that's it.
Is that it? Did we answer the
Yeah,
story?
sure. That's a good story to start with.
Essentially,
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like you guys started very rooted with your careers. Like you had low tech to start with, and basically progressed to where you're at now, and kind of putting on an international film festival. So that's a big leap in between. So in between that leap, I know there must have been some struggles in between. So I want to share one or two struggles that you guys might have had.
Yeah, I think just being in love with creativity is a struggle in itself because it's something that's intangible, and you have to figure out how you're going to monetize from it, or be able to make a living at least and support yourself. So the struggle really came from fighting ourselves, and at least for me, I can speak for myself. I always wanted to quit being creative because it just wasn't paying the bills, and I wanted to. You would think that the amount of effort that you put in will yield the monetary gain, right? So a lot of times we would go and we would quit being creative, or we would talk seriously and say, do we really want to do this? Do we really want to commit our lives to what we love, even though it's not paying monetarily? So that was a huge struggle, and finding our way and being able to kind of stay in the lane of creativity, stay in the lane of film and art and music, but try to make a living. And so a lot of times we would have, actually all the time, up until just 2008, like 10 years ago, where we did we have a part-time job or a side job that paid for our passion. And a lot of times too, we still end up doing that kind of stuff nowadays, just picking up a consulting job here or there. But for the most part, I think the struggle is finding your lane. That's always a struggle because each and every one of us is unique in our own way. So sometimes you're not just a filmmaker. Sometimes you're not just a content creator. A lot of times you're not just singular and dynamic. You're multifaceted, and so you want to feel fulfilled in what you do, but at least get a minimum wage paycheck. At least that was my mindset. And then another struggle was being able to convey my the value or the importance of creativity to me, to family members or friends, because it's hard for any creative to fully express themselves or articulate their passion for creativity and be able to explain that and allow their friends or family or their support system understand how important that is for themselves or for me. That was the main struggle, and also internally, just myself, just really having the confidence in myself to not second guess my work, to not have to follow trends. That took me a long time, and a lot of times I still struggle with that internally. I would say those couple of things.
Yeah, building on what Don said, the first struggle for us before we made the leap of actually investing all into ourselves was we had an event videography company, and it was successful. And in order for it to grow, we would have to invest more time, more money, more resources, more creativity into it. Or we take that same amount of money, creativity, etc., and put it into something that we really wanted to do, which for us was a movie. And that was a struggle, thinking about that and then doing it to make that distinction of saying, you know what, I am working right now, I have some money, but what if I quit my job and just go all in? How about that? Let me just try it once. That in itself is that was a huge struggle, number one. The second struggle was, and this is for anyone out there that decides to make the leap into whatever they do, whether you're an entrepreneur, an artist, is when you're doing what you love to do, a lot of times you're so in love with the process, whether it's art, business, whatever the case is, food, culinary arts, whatever it is you're getting into. You're so in love with the process that you forget what's immediately around you. So for me, my second large struggle for me in the process throughout the years was balancing my family life, because I'm a father, I have kids, I'm married, balancing my family life with, eyes on the prize and staying focused on the goal. Because when Don and I get in the zone, we just go, or, we've learned now how to channel that and focus it properly and take time into consideration. But in the early days for us, there was nobody there to kind of tell us, hey guys, just put the brakes on a little bit. So we just, out of the gate, we operated on gut, instinct, and then, just determination and drive. And, all the stuff that we kind of got away with when we were younger in terms of growing up poor or not having a lot of resources, we were able to make do without a lot, but yield really good, results. And so balancing the family life, going after your passion, that is a struggle. So if anyone's listening and they're kind of wondering about the advice to me is, or from me, was given to me by one of the McGee sisters from Guam. They now work out in the industry out in LA. And she was she might have been in your class, right? I'm not sure if we did the remote, the Skype call when you were in my class at the time. Yeah. And so she goes, to paraphrase, it's fleeting. Whatever it is fleeting, right? when you come home at the end of the day, after all of that, whether it's you pursuing your entrepreneurism, or going out to casting calls as an artist, whatever that is, at the end of the day, you come home, and the people you come home to are your family. They're the ones that are going to be around long after all the cameras are going off. All that stuff is done. So you got to treat your family well, because they're the ones that spend most of the time with you and put up with all your
put up with you.
Yeah. So for me, that would be my two struggles. It's the work in progress every day.
It is. Right on. So thanks for sharing some of the struggles you guys might have had, and maybe dropping a little nugget for advice. So being where you are, I'm also going to be a testament to this, is that we don't get here on our own. You guys have each other. And also we have mentors, that people that push us along the way and help us. Do you guys want to share one or two mentors that are kind of instrumental to helping you get to where you are?
I'll start. One of my mentors, this was strange though, is that he didn't become a mentor until he stopped to being a mentor. So it's kind of that grasshopper, figure it out on your own kind of thing. But it's a really good friend of mine. He's since passed, but his name is James Castro. And James was just he identified something in Don and myself before even we did. He knew that we had a very good work ethic and a very good determination to get things done. He knew we were very creative, and so he was trying to cultivate us in a way that we just weren't ready for at the time. He was probably 10 to 15 years ahead of where the current state of artistry was. So we just couldn't understand it. It wasn't until Donald and I made our movie and then crossed over to the other side of seeing things in a new light and a new perspective that, hey, we can do it. We can do anything. Aha, that's what James was trying to tell us. And so that's one mentor when I wasn't really conscious of having a mentor. And the other one is present day, consciously sought him out as a mentor. He's actually the head juror of the Guam International Film Festival. His name's Dr. Tom Brislin. And he's an island boy, Haole boy, but he grew up on Guam since the 60s. And he went to college here, went out to Ohio and Hawaii, came back. And he's basically all of the heavy hitter journalists and news outlets have someone in their organization on Guam today that come from the Tom Brislin tree of journalism. And so he would be our current mentor right now. He's a very, very valuable resource. And I just want to put this out there in case you guys are watching this. I know a lot of times when people seek out mentors, they kind of seek out someone who's fresh or, just has like 1 million followers or whatever. But please consider and look beyond that and kind of look at the substantial part of what it is you're trying to do, because a lot of the pitfalls that you're trying to get over, if you look at somebody that maybe a generation older or 2 generations older, nothing's new in this life except you. They've gone through it, or at least they've been able to address it and identify it. So look for the ones that have generations worth of information to give you, because those are the most valuable.
Well, we share the same mentors, so he took the names of both of my mentors, but
Maybe one.
It's me. I'm Watch. I'm Jedi mind tricking.
What's going on?
Hey,
oh my goodness.
hey, oh.
Okay. I struggled with that a lot growing up. Mentorship really kind of came in the form of creativity and anything that struck me as interesting. I love anything local, and I love to analyze, brands. I love to analyze um, advertisement and promotional angles. Um, and those things, understanding where the creator of that particular ad or promotion or brand, understanding the essence of that was somewhat kind of like a reassurance for me, allowing me to understand that I'm on the right path doing the right things, and I kind of, read in between the lines of what's going on in the community to help shape my outlook, and I kind of I follow my gut a lot. I'm highly sensitive to the vibes, so I like to listen to myself, but when I do listen to myself, it's scary most times, because all I can do is visualize a dream, like, oh, this is what I feel like I can do, and then I analyze it myself and say, can I actually really, or can I do that? Then I look out and see people and things that are happening that are related to what it is that I'm trying to achieve, and I try to learn the root of it, the intent of that, and those things, whatever it may be, are or is what helps shape me. And I've kind of learned to I've learned to kind of grow that way, through a lot of little things. But yeah, Tom Wisdom, the late James Chapter, for sure.
Right. Thanks for sharing those mentors. I might reach out to Tom and see if he can maybe show me, and see what happens. Okay, so last thing. So Kel's been dropping advice. If there was advice that you wanted to give to a high school student that wants to pursue film or wants to pursue a creative path. So you guys talked about the difficulties that you might have had in starting in those routes. So what advice would you give them about pursuing a creative career?
I got one. Super simple. Be obsessed with the process or the moment. So if you like to play piano, or if there's anything that you like to do, get into what it is. And what I mean by that is, don't worry about where you need to be or where you want to be or where it's going to take you in the future, because really you have no control over that. But what you do have control over is the present time, how you spend your time. So when other people are probably gaming, take those whatever hours that you may have in the day and focus in on your craft and learning every angle and every corner of your craft to be better, because it's what you put in that box. That box of creativity or technique, and when you build that, the capacity of that is that's what's gonna take you from place to place. So don't bother yourself with what's to come, or even if you're doing it right, you really just gotta love it. Love it.
Let me see. I would say two things. One, if you're going to pursue a career in the arts, get ready, especially now. Everyone's a critic. Don't hold it too close right here, because once you enter the public ring of putting it out there, whether it's a service, whether it's a painting, whether it's a movie, whether it's a song, whether you're doing choreography, new dance, what makes that process whole is the audience. And once you throw your hat in the ring, you're going to be subject to criticism, be it bad or good, but just understand that. Just understand. That's number one. The second would kind of be the same as what Don was saying, but on the other end, stay in the moment, be about the process, but be ready. So what I mean by that is, you never know when or if you'll get that opportunity, but if it does come along, be ready. In the most practical sense, what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you're a filmmaker, right? And if you're an aspiring filmmaker and you make your cool little short film and you send it off to film festivals in hopes that maybe you'll get picked. Let's say a film festival does pick you. Be ready to try to get to that festival. Have, save up some money or do a fundraiser, get ready to do a fundraiser to raise up money so you can go out there and network your film. Have your headshot ready, have your biography ready, have your accomplishments ready, have your letters of recommendation ready. Just get ready, because I've seen it too on my end as the festival programmer. There would be films that would be officially chosen, but because they're not ready and they didn't have everything together, I don't have time to wait. So I gotta say, I like this movie, sorry guy, who's the next one that's ready? And then I'll pull him, right? And it works like that a lot. That's what I'm saying. Don't get too attached to your personal project when you throw it out there in the public arena, because sometimes it really does just matter on that. It's like, well, this guy doesn't have his portfolio set and the press is calling us. So who else's portfolio do we have? This guy. And so that guy's getting the newspaper coverage, not the guy that wasn't ready. So that's what I mean in the practical sense. Just have your T's crossed and your I's dotted.
I have something to add on to that. Finish the project. I remember in my early times of creating, finishing would be so difficult for me because I was just married to the project, But ideas will come. Ideas will always come and flood your head. So it's really in the finishing of the idea, and it's better to just finish it and it not really come out to how you wanted it, but at least you start practicing how to open and close your project, and you'll be able to finish it off and be on to the next. And you'll always be able to refine those ideas later as you go, but finish. Don't be afraid to finish. No matter how stale or sucky it might be, it's better to have a 3-minute film that's completed than a 60-minute film that's not ready to ship out.
On that note, we're going to ship out this interview. Hopefully I did a good job editing this thing. But we're going to thank Don and Kel for being on the show again. Once again, this is Mentor Asia Pacific, signing out. Thanks guys. Peace. Thank you. Thanks guys for tuning into Mentor Asia Pacific. Once again, I'm out in Sangha. Check out all our social media, that's going to be linked down below. Stay tuned, more mentors are to come. We're going to be releasing a mentor every week. And please leave a comment down below for any mentors that you'd like to be featured on the channel. Any business professional, entrepreneur, or anybody that you believe is inspiring and can provide to be a mentor for the youth of Guam. Until next time, thank you very much. Sangha out.